Welcome to Fantasy and Enchantment, where I describe fantasy books to my husband and see if he's enchanted. My name is Sarah.
And I'm Justin.
As usual, we're going to start out with content warnings. We both swear a lot. There's a lot of sex and a lot of, not all of them, but there is sex in some of these books that I'm talking about.
There's lots of sex in
Justin,
all of these books.
Not all of them. I can't wait to get to the first one that doesn't have sex, and I'm going to rub it all over your face.
That in and of itself sounds really sexual.
I heard it as soon as it came out of my mouth.
Go ahead and rub it all over my face.
As soon as it came out of my mouth.
Rub it on my face.
I was like, I should not have said that.
Rub it on my butt.
Justin, stop. Anyway, this week we are talking about Fourth Wing.
Which apparently is not the first one without sex in it.
No, that's not. Nope. Dragon sex.
Dragon sex. Ridiculous.
Okay. We're going to start off with the description, and then we're going to go from there. You ready?
Let's do it.
Dragons.
Dragons.
20-year-old Violet Sorrengail was supposed to enter the Scribe Quadrant, living a quiet life among books and history. Now, the commanding general, also known as her tough-as-talons mother, has ordered Violet to join the hundreds of candidates striving to become the elite of Navarre, dragon riders. But when you're smaller than everyone else, and your body is brittle, death is only a heartbeat away, because dragons don't bond to fragile humans. They incinerate them. With fewer dragons willing to bond than cadets, most would kill Violet to better their own chances of success. The rest would kill her just for being her mother's daughter, like Xaden Ryerson, the most powerful and ruthless wing leader in the Riders Quadrant. She'll need every edge her wits can give her just to see the next sunrise. Yet, with every day that passes, the war outside grows more deadly. The kingdom's protective wards are failing, and the death toll continues to rise. Even worse, Violet begins to suspect leadership is hiding a terrible secret. Friends, enemies, lovers. Everyone at Basgiath War College has an agenda, because once you enter, there are only two ways out: graduate or die.
All right, and I see right there, we got another map.
It's a map. Actually, this one has two maps.
Oh, great, multiple maps.
I knew you were going to be excited about that.
Real excited to have extra geography homework.
Well, so this is Navarre. That's where the college is. It gives you a whole layout of the whole area where they live, really. Oh, no, I got to put... Where's the other map, guys?
You would think they would put the maps together.
Oh, and then this is the map of the college.
Oh, you get a school map.
Get a school map, because it's kind of important to understand the layout of the school.
Otherwise, how would you know where your lockers are?
Sure. Sure, we'll go with the lockers. When I first read this, I ended up having to flip back to this quite a few times.
Oh, great. So it's very map intensive.
Well, it's because she talks about crossing the parapet and going to the dorms, and you're like, where the fuck is that?
Yeah, because they're just making up words, so it doesn't even make any sense.
A parapet is a real part of a castle, Justin.
I've never heard the word parapet before.
Okay.
Sounds like parrot. My parrot pet. I got a pet parrot.
Okay. Anyway, Violet, the main character, she has two siblings who are both older than her. They've both graduated. They're both dragon riders, like her mother. Her dad was a scribe, but he died from a heart attack a while ago.
He did.
Her older brother died fighting somewhere. I don't remember where, but he's dead.
Okay.
Her sister is currently stationed as a dragon rider. She moves around sometimes, but she's in the war. She is involved.
So there's a war.
There's a war.
Okay.
They're kind of fighting the various areas around them for resources at this point. You hear a lot about griffin riders. The griffin riders attacked us the other day. That stuff like that.
Okay.
Do you know what a griffin is?
Yeah, isn't it like part lion, part bird kind of thing?
Yes.
Got the beak?
Yeah. So those also exist.
Okay.
And then this college that she's at specializes in training people specifically for the war. So you're either a scribe, because they don't have printing, so everyone has
You just got to write shit down.
They just got to write shit down, and that's the only way they have of keeping track of history. And that's what Violet thought she was going to do. But then her older brother died, and her mom decided, no, you're going to be a dragon rider.
Okay.
And dragon riding is very dangerous. There's a whole thing about the way this whole college is set up is basically, as a dragon rider, if you don't bond with a dragon, you're going to die. And if you do bond with a dragon, and then that dragon dies, then you die. So, it's very intense.
Also, sounds like mom might be a little controlling and intense in and of itself here.
Yep. So that's a little bit of background.
Okay.
The story opens on conscription day, which is basically the first day at this school.
Okay.
let's see. In order to get through conscription day and officially become a cadet, they make the dragon riders in training cross the parapet,
Okay.
which is a really tiny bridge. There's this guy behind her who's like, you're not going to make it, you're going to die. So Violet is small. I always imagined her as about my size.
Okay.
They don't have a word for it in the book, obviously, but she's got some kind of disability where her joints don't really work right. Her ligaments are loose. It's really easy for various body parts to become dislocated.
Okay.
So,
Odd. It's a weird thing to give your main character, but okay.
well, apparently the author of the book also has this thing.
Ah.
So it is a real thing. It does
Okay.
happen to people.
So it's just, yeah, something more relatable for her.
Yeah. And also seems like kind of the thing you wouldn't want as a dragon rider.
Yeah, it seems like you'd get jostled around quite a bit riding on top of a dragon.
To say the least. Violet meets Rhiannon, who is a black girl.
Hey, we've got a black in
So
the
we
book.
already have a black girl.
Already a lot of diversity.
Jack Barlow is the name of the guy who threatens her basically from the beginning. He's an asshole.
Got it.
She also runs into a childhood friend whose name is Dane, who she kind of has a crush on.
I like how we have almost normal names so far, which is a whole lot more than we can say for some of these other books that we've
I mean,
read.
it's weird. It kind of goes back and forth because you get like Violet, but then her older sister's name is Mira.
That's pretty normal still.
Rhiannon isn't that bad. Yeah, it goes back and forth. Her sister catches up to her, Mira, before she gets on the parapet, gives her some advice, is real mad at her mom that her mom is making her do this, because, like, she's a little small, she's a little fragile. She also gives her their brother Brennan's book, which he wrote it as essentially like a guide to Mira for how to survive the college.
Got it. It seems like a weird thing as a parent to be like, let's put my kids through this thing that there's a
Might kill
50-50
them.
chance of killing them.
Yeah.
Also, especially the little one, like, yeah, she's almost definitely going to die.
Yeah, not great parenting.
Yeah.
Yeah, but she survives the parapet. She crosses. She's fine. After that is when she meets Zayden for the first time.
There's a weird name.
There's a weird name. I don't think he's black, but he's also not white.
Okay.
So there's that.
He's Hispanic.
They don't have a Spain or I don't know.
He's brown.
He's brown.
We'll call him brown.
And then once the cadets make it through the parapet, they're then split into their respective squads and all that stuff. So she ends up in the 4th Wing Squad, which is why
Hence the name of the book.
Yes. So that comes up real fast.
All
Real
right.
quick, you get to
It's
be
all
like, oh my
coming
God.
together.
I know what happened. So pretty quickly, book starts out. There's a lot of physical training involved because they're trying to get all these people physically ready to ride the dragons.
Again, seems like it would be a bit strenuous.
Yes, but Violet's also not really a fighter. So she's doing some physical training aside from sparring, but she is also like, I'm going to need a little bit of extra help to make it. But she also, because she thought she was going to be scribe, she's read a lot, she knows a lot. So she knows a lot about poisons. So she starts slipping some poison into the people who are going to be sparring with her.
Oh,
So they don't die, but they collapse or they get sick like right before they're supposed to come on the mat to fight her. That kind of stuff.
that seems perfectly ethical.
Yes, it does.
So already some questionable morals here with our main character.
Well, I mean, she is convinced that if she doesn't do this, if she doesn't incapacitate these people who are going to fight her, they're going to kill her because they're allowed to kill each other.
Oh, great.
Yeah.
It's a real murder
Not,
school.
I mean, they're only allowed to kill each other when they're sparring or when they're doing activities. You can't just kill people in the hallways or whatever. But in certain situations, yes, you are allowed to kill the other students.
Okay.
Yeah.
I wish my high school would have been like that.
No, you don't.
Certain situations.
I'm sure that would have been great for the Catholic school you went to.
Well, what are you going to do?
Okay. Zayden, who is at this point the bad guy in the book. Okay, back up a little bit. So, before this story, a few years before, one of the other kingdoms had like a rebellion against the crown of the place where they live. And the adults involved were all killed. They were executed by dragon fire. That's how that works. If you're sentenced to death, it's dragons that do it.
Got it. Unless you're in school, then it's just your schoolmates that do it.
Well, actually, even then, the dragons are involved.
Oh, okay.
You'll see.
Neat.
Zayden's dad is one of those people who was involved in the rebellion. So Zayden is part of the punishment for those people was that they would be executed. Their children would be forced to go to this college to either prove their loyalty or die trying.
Got
Because
it.
that's how this college works, clearly. Everybody dies.
Yeah.
If you're not riding a
Murder
dragon.
College.
You
They
did.
should have called this book Murder College.
Maybe they should have. So Zayden has like this tattoo that marks him as the child of a rebellious person. I don't
Real scarlet letter kind of thing.
Yeah, kind of, yeah.
Okay.
They call it a rebellion relic. Violet goes out late at night looking for this particular flower that she's going to use to poison the person she's sparring with the next day. She's climbed up a tree, and Xaden meets these other people who Violet pretty quickly realizes also have rebellion relics. They've also got the weird tattoos, but they're not supposed to meet in groups larger than 3, or they might be planning more treason.
Okay.
So Violet is immediately suspicious. She hangs back to listen, realizes that Xaden's just giving them advice on like how to get through the next couple years, because it's like a 3 or 4 year long program. Xaden is at the end of it, so he's about to graduate.
He's a senior.
He's a senior. All these other people are fresh meat, so he's trying to just help them get through it.
Got it.
So not all terrible, all things considered, but the other people leave, and Xaden's not even looking at her and goes, I know you're there. So they have this little confrontation where he's like, I'm not going to kill you yet.
I'm going to kill you, just not right now.
Well, because Violet's mom is the one who executed
His
Xaden's dad.
Okay.
So there's some history there.
Little bit of heat between the two of them.
They start getting ready for the gauntlet, which is kind of meant to be a practice run before you do the thing where you get the dragon.
Okay. The gauntlet is also the name of the final running thing in American Gladiators. You run the gauntlet at the end. American Gladiator is one of the best shows of the 90s. I used to watch it all the time. Run the gauntlet.
Didn't we watch a documentary about that?
Yeah, they did a documentary about it. There was a lot of
Yeah.
steroids involved, a lot of partying, a lot of sex that went on backstage. Yeah, but American Gladiators were still really cool.
Okay. Okay. So they do the gauntlet. Some other people die. Violet barely makes it. She figures it out, though. The next step after the gauntlet is the threshing, where they meet the dragons, and then hopefully, not everybody, but hopefully at least some of them will bond with a dragon.
And then if not, the dragon offs them, right?
It's a possibility. The dragon might... There is a scene where the dragons, like, they're just kind of walking around looking at the dragons, so the dragons can get a sense of, like, who they would like to choose. Some kid starts mouthing off.
Talking shit about the dragons.
Yeah, and then just fire, and then he's dead.
Okay.
So, sometimes dragons will just be like, not you, motherfucker. And
Don't
then
talk
you're
shit
dead.
about the dragons.
I think he's mostly just... There is one kid who talks a lot of shit, and then there's another kid who just complains and gets really nervous, and both of them incinerated.
Neat.
Yeah. They're doing the threshing. Violet gets hurt. Jack Barlow, the asshole, comes back. There's this tiny little gold dragon, and he's like, we have to kill this thing, which is illegal, by the way. It's
Can't
illegal
kill
to kill
dragons.
dragons. But he seems to get it in his head that he has to kill this little gold dragon because it's too weak. It's too small. It's not going to be useful in the war. So they're going to kill it. Him and 2 other people, whose names I don't remember. Violet stops them from killing the gold dragon. Big black dragon flies down also. We learn that the golden dragon's name is Andarna.
Here come
the
the weird
names are
names.
weird.
Here we go.
The dragon names are weird. And then the black dragon, his name is Tarn.
Okay.
Tarn bonds with Violet. And then they land, and Violet goes to announce to the people who are keeping records that, like, this is my dragon now. And it's the minute she bonds with Tarn, she gets, like, a mental connection with him. It's pretty funny. He's a pretty snarky dragon.
Oh, so the dragons talk.
Like,
Or not
not
talk,
out loud.
but like telepathically talk.
Yes.
Okay.
So, snarky dragon. He's a lot of fun. A lot of people like Tarn. And he's like, you have to tell them my name. That's how they'll know. And then he goes, oh, and also Andarna. And she's like, what? Nobody in recorded history has bonded with 2 dragons. So, she just made history.
Okay.
She's got 2 dragons now.
All right.
Big black dragon, tiny little gold dragon.
Okay. I was going to say, it seemed like since she's little, the little gold dragon would be right up her alley.
Yes. I mean, I will get into that later.
Big black dragon, BBD.
Damn it. Oh, okay. Tarn, the big black dragon, is mated with Xaden's dragon.
Dragon fucking.
Who I think is blue, and it's like Sgeayl. Scale.
That's not a real word at all. And those
They're-
aren't even
they're kind
letters
of
that
like-
go together.
they're
What
like-
is this, like Polish or something? Those aren't letters that belong together. It doesn't make any sense.
I think it's meant to be Welsh, kind of Welsh names.
Still doesn't make any sense.
Anyway,
Those people talk funny too.
Gale and Tarn are mates, which means officially Xaden and Violet are connected, whether they like it or not. Because, like...
The dragons are fucking. They got to be around each other. At
The dragons are fucking. They can't go too long without seeing each other or they get really upset. And you don't want a mad dragon.
Understandably so.
Yeah. And also, like I mentioned earlier, if the dragon dies, the person also dies. And sometimes that goes vice versa. Not always. But, like, if Violet dies, Taryn could die. And if Taryn dies, that's going to affect Scale, who will then affect Zayden.
Right.
It's a whole domino effect now.
So now they're all just kind of linked together in this weird circle jerk.
Yeah, basically.
Got it.
So that was a great way of putting that. So
Yeah.
Thank you.
There you go.
During the night, Violet gets attacked by some other cadets, which is illegal. They're not supposed to do that in the hallways while people are sleeping. If you're going to kill somebody, you have to do it out in the open.
This whole violence thing seems a little over the top for a school.
Zayden also starts calling her Violence, so that's like her nickname.
Okay.
So, but that happens later, I think. Either way, she gets attacked. We find out that the dragons can, like, have, like, little magic powers, and Derna can stop time for a second. So she stops time just long enough for Violet to get out of immediate danger. And then Zayden comes running in.
Okay.
Kills everybody, except one person who runs and gets away. But Violet's like, I know who that was. So Zayden only knew because Taryn knew, and then Taryn was able to tell Seagal, who then told Zayden.
It's real complicated.
It's a little complicated. I wrote this down because the next morning, I wrote the page number down, the next morning, they're in front of leadership, they're announcing who died the day before, because that's a thing they do every day.
It's like, have you ever seen Battle Royale? Battle Royale is a really great movie. It's basically what Hunger Games was taken from, was Battle Royale. Came out in the
that
late
Korean
90s.
one.
Yeah. I think it's Japanese, actually. Anyway, it's kind of the same thing, where every morning they do an announcement over the island, where they announce everybody who died the day before, and how they died, which is pretty cool.
Yeah.
If you haven't seen Battle Royale, take some time. Watch Battle Royale. It's a great movie. You got to read the whole thing, but there's not a whole lot going on, because it's all subtitled. Watch Battle Royale.
Okay. So, the next morning, they do the roll call to announce who died. And Dane is there. And Dane's like, what happened to you? Because Violet's all beat up. She's got bruises and
Yeah,
stuff.
because a bunch of dudes jumped her.
Yeah. And Zayden gets up on their little stage and said, Early this morning, a rider in my wing was brutally, illegally attacked in her sleep with the intent of murder by a group primarily composed of unbonded, so people who don't have dragons.
Okay.
Because sometimes
They're pissed off because she's got two.
she's got two, and she's like small and fragile and whatever, and
Right.
so they seem to think that by killing her, that frees up Taryn, the really big black dragon.
BBD.
BBD, sure. So that's their logic. Dane is there, and then Zayden says, I call you to answer for your crime against Cadet Sorengale, wing leader, Amber Mavis. Amber is Dane's friend.
Okay.
They're both sticklers. They really like rules. So Dane's immediately jumping to Amber's defense and saying, she didn't do this. There is no way. That's against the rules. She wouldn't have done that. Amber was there. Amber is the person that Violet saw run.
away.
Dane has... So people, when they bond with dragons, get little magic powers of their own. Dane can see people's memories if he, like, touches them, so he immediately reaches out to Violet and was like, let me see. And Violet's like, no, why don't you just fucking believe me? Because he's supposed to be like her best friend. And he's not believing her that this happened. So she's upset. But Violet gets Taryn, her dragon, to show everybody the memory of what happened, and then they believe her. And then Amber gets executed by dragon fire.
Oh, cool.
Because that's, again,
That's
how
what
it works.
that's what happens.
Yeah.
No, wait a minute. Have we gotten the name of the gold dragon yet?
And Darna.
Okay. Is that one? What's that one's special powers?
Stopping time. She did that while the attack was happening.
I thought that was the guy's dragon did that.
No.
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 Okay. I'm just confused. The dragon names are weird. It's hard to keep track of them.
Would you like me to refer to them by their color?
It might be easier.
Okay.
Not to sound racist, but referring to them by their color might be easier for me to keep up.
Okay. Zayden has this friend who's a year younger than him, whose name is Liam, and he wants Liam from now on to guard Violet to make sure she doesn't die, that nobody else attacks her, because, again, if she gets hurt, it could cause this
It's a whole domino
effect.
effect. Yeah.
Violet's in her room one night, just studying or reading or doing something, and all of a sudden, like, she gets really warm and, like, really horny, and she realizes the dragons are fucking.
Oh, great. So she can feel it when they're doing it.
She can feel it when they're doing it.
Awesome.
I told you there was actual dragon sex in this book.
Yeah, there is.
So she's like runs outside to try and cool off, and Xaden is there. And Xaden is also experiencing the dragons fucking
Great.
because,
They're both telepathically linked to their fucking dragon.
yes.
Awesome.
And then they kiss for the first time.
Because they're all horned up.
Because they're all horned up. But that's where it stops. Xaden is like, we can't do this. I'm not doing this. You're not in your right mind. You're not fully consenting. So thanks for checking for consent, Xaden.
Hey, good on you.
Yeah. And then Violet finds out that she's going to have to spar against Jack Barlow, who's the asshole who wants to kill her.
Right. One of many, apparently, because everybody wants this bitch dead.
Yeah, Jack is especially vicious because he was also going to kill the baby gold dragon.
Right.
And that's not cool.
Does he have a dragon, Jack?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah. Most of the people, or most of the named characters got dragons.
Okay.
And actually, there are a lot of names. I will say Rebecca Yarros does not pull a Sarah J. Maas. There's no, like, unnamed, just, like...
Everybody gets a name.
All the parents have names, for the
Okay.
record. Anyway, she finds out that Jack is allergic to oranges.
What a bitchy thing to be allergic to. Oranges? Was he got a peanut allergy?
So she poisons him with oranges while they're sparring. I think she... no, I don't think it kicks in until they're sparring. But she poisons him, and so he's not able to kill her because he's got like his hands around her throat and he's gonna choke the life out of her. It's a whole thing. And this is, I think, where Xaden starts referring to her as violence, because that was especially ruthless.
Got it.
And they do this training exercise with fake dragon eggs. And this is when Jack is, again, a raging asshole. He's going after Liam, who's her friend, who's been guarding her, helping her train. They've spent a lot of time together. And there's this whole idea of signets. So you bond with a dragon, and then you get a magical power, and that's called a signet. But if it takes too long to manifest, it can like burn through your entire body and kill you. And hers hasn't happened yet, so she's getting really worried. But then they're doing this training exercise, and she feels like her whole body heat up. And she's like, well, if this is me like burning out and dying because of my signet, I would rather take him down with me. So she just lets all this energy out. Lightning strikes down on a mountain. Jack is killed in a rock slide.
Oh,
So
he dead. So does his dragon die then too, or
no, it's
Oh, but
It's the other way around.
Okay, but you said sometimes it goes that way.
yes, sometimes, but not
Okay.
in this case.
So his dragon's just like, well, that guy dead. I'm gonna have to find somebody new to hook up with.
His dragon is also very mad
Okay.
because Violet killed his rider.
What you gonna do?
But maybe if Jack wasn't an asshole,
Fair.
so
So
Violet
she can control lightning.
she can control lightning. I wouldn't say control it at this point, but she can make lightning.
She can make lightning happen.
She's all freaked out because this is the first time she's killed somebody. She's managed to not kill anybody at all so far
Okay.
because she didn't want to.
Yeah. Also, she was frail and little.
Yes. Now she's got lightning, so a lot less frail.
Yeah.
But she's all worked out about it. I think she gets sick. She goes back to her room. Xaden comes in, and he's like, I get that you feel this way. Like, you shouldn't not feel bad about killing someone, even if they're awful, because, like, you're a human being. That's important. You're a human. Congratulations. And he's like, what can I do to make you feel better? Do you want to guess what he does?
Fuck!
Yeah.
They're going up. Fuck! You don't make you feel better? This dick!
Yeah, so they have really intense sex where they break a bunch of furniture in her room.
So unnecessary, guys.
And-
Lightning bolts shooting everywhere.
There are actually
Of
lightning
course
bolts
there
involved.
are. We had to go there.
Outside, they start a fire.
Of course.
It's intense.
Wait, do the dragons feel it when their riders are fucking?
I'm probably, yeah.
Okay. That's an interesting thing. Hey, why don't you touch on that, Rebecca?
Okay. The next morning, they're cleaning up the damage from when they broke everything.
So they just hardcore fuck, break a bunch of shit in their rooms, and they're like, time to go to sleep.
Basically.
They don't clean up or sweep or anything afterwards.
Nope. I know you love that.
Yeah, I'm real big on. I'm kind of OCD, and everything needs to be in its place. I can't imagine if I had real aggressive sex where I knocked a bunch of shit over, that I wouldn't definitely need to pick all that shit back up before I go to bed at night.
Yeah. But while they're cleaning up, Violet has this book from her dad that's basically, it's like a fairy tale book. They talk a lot about wyverns and these like kind of warlock people who are called venin. But the binding has come loose and a letter falls out of the book. And the letter says, by the time you find this, you'll most likely be in the scribe quadrant. Nope. Remember that folklore is passed from one generation to the next to teach us about our past. If we lose it, we lose the links to our past. It only takes one desperate generation to change history, even erase it. I know you'll make the right choice when the time comes. You have always been the best of both your mother and me. Love, Dad.
By the time you find this, you will probably have just been getting dicked down by some dude. Hope it was good for you. Love, Dad.
Okay. Anyway, what do you think her dad's talking about there? Especially the, it only takes one desperate generation to change history or erase it.
That she's gonna make history, and now she's got 2 dragons?
I mean, that did happen. I'm not going to say you're wrong, but we'll see.
Okay.
Then they do go through this thing called Reunification Day, which is a celebration for the end of the rebellion that Xaden's dad was a part of.
Okay.
So Xaden doesn't like it because it's...
And why would he? He's
Yeah.
being reminded of his dead dad.
Yeah. Also, but that's also the day that Violet's brother died, because he died in the Reunification War.
Okay. So she's probably not thrilled about it either.
Nope. So they run into the king. The king makes some smart-ass comment about wanting to keep an eye on the rebellion kids. And Violet can't figure out where Xaden is. And someone says, he's out on the parapet. He's just sitting there. That thing she had to cross in the
bridge.
beginning.
The weird bridge.
Yeah. So she's in a dress. She starts crossing the parapet. There, Xaden is like, what the fuck are you doing out here? And she's like, I'm looking for you. I know today is rough for you. Come down from here. Let's talk about it. So they talk about it. They have sex again.
You're sad, I'm sad, let's fuck.
They break a window this time.
God damn it, they need to be more careful.
With the lightning.
Fuck.
Yeah. So,
I like how this bitch just comes lightning.
this is basically what happened.
She's not squirting, she's just spraying lightning everywhere. Good Christ. That's dangerous.
It is.
You
Yeah.
can't-
She set a fire.
You can't fuck a girl
The
who's
first time.
coming lightning.
Well, it's not stopping Xaden.
Apparently. He's a brave man.
They're like all night fucking. She says they're on like round 4 when someone comes knocking on the door saying they gotta go. Everybody's out in the...
You gotta go, everything's on fire. There's lightning everywhere. It's been going on all night. We don't know what the fuck's going on.
Yeah. They get dressed and everything. They run out. They find out that it's actually the war games, which is like the thing that they do at the end of year to test everybody. Xaden says, well, first of all, they're doing a practice exercise against the Griffin Riders, and this is one of the first times that we hear about the Griffin Riders. So that's where they're going. Okay, I think I might have skipped something in my notes. Anyway, Xaden specifically asked for Violet to come with him when he does his war game, because she was going to go with Dane's group. But Xaden says, no, you're coming with me. And they go out to
Oh,
this...
she's been coming with him, that's for sure.
Yes, that too. I don't remember. Athbane. Athbane is the place where they go to. And it's basically a setup. Dane's dad, who's a colonel, knows somehow that Xaden has been working with the Griffin Riders. And so he set this whole thing up for Xaden and the other rebellion kids to die.
Oh.
Because, well, first of all, they get there. Griffin Riders start showing up pretty soon afterward. Violet is fucking pissed because she's like, you're working with the bad guys. Because she thinks the Griffin Riders are the bad guys. That's
Right.
what she's been hearing the whole time.
That's what she's been taught.
And then Xaden says, no, they're not. They're just trying to get what they need to fight the venin and the wyvern, which are the things that were in the fairy tale book. And she says, those aren't real. That's just a folk tale. And then someone says, they're coming for us right now. So venin and wyvern, real. That's what her dad was talking about. That's the history that's
Okay.
being erased.
Right.
So coming for her, they start having this big battle with the Griffin Riders, like the Griffin Riders and the dragons working together against the venin and the wyvern. At one point, before the battle starts, Xaden says, how did they know we were coming here? How did they know about Athbane, whatever. Again, weird words. And he says to Violet, did Dane touch you before we left? Like, did he touch your face at all? Because he has that power where he can
Right.
see memories. And he did kind of like brush against her face and say, like, I'll miss you. So he knew what was going to happen.
Yeah.
That's the impression you get. So fuck Dane.
Yeah, he's actually a bad guy.
He is. They have this whole battle with the venin and the wyvern. They barely make it out. Liam, her friend who's been guarding her, he dies.
Okay.
And then Violet gets seriously hurt. Kind of like she's kind of out of it. She hears people talking. The last chapter is actually from Xaden's point of view. So you get this live reaction of Violet as her brother, who she thought was dead, walks into the room.
Oh.
So Brennan is alive.
Okay.
He's working with the rebellion. That's where the book ends.
But it's not really a rebellion so much as...
Well, according to the government of the place that they live, it is a rebellion.
Okay.
But, yeah.
But they're not rebelling against the government as much as they're fighting against the...
Well, they are, because the
monsters.
government doesn't want people to know that these monsters actually exist.
Is the government in charge of the monsters?
No. So you find out more about it in the next book, but like the continent of Navarre is safe because they've got all these wards in place.
Okay.
And so the Griffin Riders are just trying to get weapons and stuff so that they can protect themselves against the Wyvern and also get their own wards. But Navarre doesn't want to share. So it's all about resources. So,
Typical crooked government behavior.
yeah, Navarre is basically saying, fuck you guys. And in order to make sure nobody else helps them, they've erased the history that Venin and Wyvern are real.
Got it.
And that's where the book ends.
Okay. I mean, that's not... This seems like a lot of pages. I mean, I guess there's a lot of character building in your... How many books are in this extravaganza that we got here?
So it's supposed to be, I think, a 5-part series.
Okay.
The 3rd book was just announced a few weeks ago.
So it's not even done yet? Mm-mm. Okay. So there's only 2 out right now.
2 out right now. The 3rd one comes out in January. So guess what I'm doing in January?
Buying this book and reading it in a day?
Yeah, probably.
Ridiculous.
Yeah. But that's the end of the 1st book.
Okay. Now,
Dragon Sex, Part 1.
now if... When she goes with them at the end of the book to this battle thing, does she take BBD or does she take the Gold Dragon or does she take both?
She takes both.
Okay. Now, she can only ride one at a time. Is the
Yeah.
other one just flying solo?
Yeah, that's basically how it works. And
Okay.
Darna just flies with... The Gold Dragon flies with them.
Okay.
She also gets like a saddle made so that she doesn't fall off a Terran all the time, because that was a problem. Actually, Xaden helps make the saddle for her so she doesn't fall off.
And then fucks her afterwards, I'm sure.
Yeah, and that too. Because that was... She's gotten stronger, but she is still so much smaller than the dragon that it's a real struggle for her to stay on.
Got it.
So the saddle buckles her in, keeps her from falling off.
Gets a seatbelt.
Yeah, she gets a seatbelt for her dragon. Yeah.
Okay. Here's a seatbelt. Let's fuck. I'm sad, you're sad, let's fuck. They fuck a lot in this book.
They do.
And the dragons fuck just one time?
Just one time that I
Okay.
recall. So the issue with the dragon sex was that the dragons forgot to block Xaden and Violet out. So normally they would have done that. They wouldn't have been quite so aware of what was happening.
Not quite on.
But they got real into it, the dragons,
Oh,
and they
right.
forgot.
Does it describe the dragon sex?
No.
No, it's just a thing that's happening.
It's just a thing that they know is happening.
Okay.
The dragons are fucking.
Dragons are fucking. If you're looking for a dragon dildo, they're out there, guys. Google it. They do exist. It's a thing.
No.
And they're out there.
I know they are.
Also, they make those weird tentacle ones.
Oh my god. Ugh. Okay.
Are we ever going to get a tentacle book? Is there like a giant octopus sex in any
I'm
of
not
your
into
books yet?
octopus sex, so even if there is, I don't think that's going to be a thing for
That's
us.
fine. Guys, if you've got any giant octopus sex books that you want to shoot over, let us know. We'll look those up.
How about no?
All right. So now what? What did you rate this one?
Yep.
Are we at that point? I mean, you seem pretty into this dragon sex. You're real excited about the 3rd book coming out. So I'm going to say you probably went ahead and gave this a 5, huh?
It was 4.
It was a 4? Okay.
Yeah. Yeah, and I mean,
You reserve your 5s.
I reserved my 5s, and I didn't give this one a 5 because it does... Violet is supposed to be 20 years old. She seems a little hormonal for 20, like a little too horny. Calm down. Everybody's dying.
Some people get it that maybe the dying is doing it for her.
Wow.
If they're all hot and bothered.
I kind of wish sometimes it wasn't. Like, I don't mind the sex. Obviously, I knew what I was getting into with this book, but also, she talks kind of like a teenager sometimes.
There's a lot of the sex in this.
She literally says she would climb Xaden like a tree at one point, and I was like,
That's a weird thing to say with sex in the first place. You don't
Yeah.
fuck trees.
I mean, I hope not.
seems-
Someone's probably doing it, but
Weirdos. It's on the internet somewhere.
yeah, it exists. But the next one is Iron Flame, and that's the second one. And there's more.
More sex,
More
I'm
sex,
sure.
yes.
Of course there is.
Yeah.
Why are all of your books about fucking?
They're not. We're gonna get to the ones that have no fucking.
I don't know if I believe you. So far, it's just a lot of fucking. A lot of fucking.
Stop.
All right.
I will let you know when there's no fucking.
Okay.
It's
We're not there yet.
not there yet.
Okay.
Okay. So follow us on Facebook and TikTok, FAE Podcast. Leave suggestions for books I should read.
Tentacle books. We're here for it.
I'm not here for it, for the record. Ratings, reviews are always welcome. If you have questions or comments, please reach out. We will see you next time.
Bye.